Hey, welcome to the Goals 2023 workshop session. We are about to get seriously busy. You're going to be doing some worksheets, taking action. It's going to be mind-blowing and changing to get you to get your goals accomplished much faster in 2023. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here. You didn't choose to be here, but you did because you're committed. You have other things you could be doing. I'm going to be moving pretty quick, as you can tell. I'm excited about this, but we have a lot of information to get through to. So grab a pen or grab a paper now. Get ready to take some notes, and let's get into this. It's time to kick off the Goals 2023 Challenge. Let's go. Let's go.
You guys have something, you know, y'all are dreamers, y'all are actors, so we all dreamers, so you got something, otherwise you wouldn't be pursuing it. That's the most important thing to have is that. If you don't have the other stuff, if you believe in it and you can see it, this shit happens. And no matter what it is you're trying to do in life, anything you're trying to do in life, if you can see it and you're the only one that can see it. That's why every now and then you flip on the TV and you see some shit, you be like, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Like how does Attack of the Killer Tomatoes even fucking happen? Or Sharknado or some shit like that. That's somebody that just would not give up. They just went up and kept pitching and believing in their shit and staying on it and staying on it.
And Eddie is exactly right. You keep staying on it and believing in it. I wanted to play that clip. So number one, you know, this is a little bit different energy. Number one. Number two, I wanted you to know that even people like Eddie see things that are like, how did that happen? How does that get made? And he knows it only happens if somebody has extreme belief. No one else needs to see it. We have to stop looking for validation for others. We have to stop being addicted to acceptance. Our dream, our vision, what's been given to us is for us to execute on. I always say if you want to get family members or somebody that's important to you that you love, to get them to understand what your vision is, the best way to do it is to present it to them, just like I'm doing to you right now. Sit them down, actually go through a presentation where you've covered the who, what, when, where, why, how. At a minimum, it shows them that you're serious. Beyond that, it shows them that you've really done your homework and that you actually have an opportunity that's important to you, enough that you presented it to them to treat them like a stakeholder. So Eddie Murphy's kind of setting that tone for us, that we got to believe in it first by us, not by anybody else. So as we look at today's agenda, here's what we're going to be looking at. We're looking at a couple of different things that we're going to be getting to. You know, how to set the goals right, the pitfalls to avoid, how to manage your energy, not your time. This is a big one. Different goals, methods that are out there. Many of you have heard of some of these methods, but there are others that you haven't heard of. And there isn't any one method that's going to do the trick for you, but I find that it's a hybrid of different methods. We're going to remove stress, which really is like attachment to a goal, that you're grasping at it so much that the desperation is so hard that the frustration comes up because you've been working at this thing. We're going to teach you some things there. And then I'm going to package yourself to win more collaborations, more partnerships, more deals in 2023. So first things first, I want to give you a little bit of my background really quickly here, about 50 seconds here. Many of you may know me, but some don't. I'm on the Today Show. I do a lot of things on TV. This has been a goal that we wanted to achieve. I got a successful podcast. It's ranked in the top 50. It charts continuously. I do a lot of public speaking for many big brands. I've sold over $4 million worth of brand deals. I partnered with Damon John on some stuff. I've been invited to Richard Branson's private island in Virgin Gorda. There's my team right there. And we do some amazing things. We shoot some great stuff that we create for others, for entrepreneurs specifically. We got a show down in New York that we were shooting in NASDAQ studios. We've had great guests like Spike Lee and others, some of the sharks hanging out with, but it hasn't always been rosy. We've had our downs, been at the Coinstar machine, been down and out. But we came out of that and won Emmys. And so the point that I'm making to you with all of this is we've had goals. And when you're standing there at that podium and you're saying your message and you got that Emmy Award in your hand, you know that you've achieved something that you set out to do. And I know that you all know what that feels like because you all have achieved certain things in your life. I mean, it is something when you feel walking up on that stage, though. I mean, Shy's hand over his mouth captures the feeling completely. Like, what is happening right now? And, you know, seeing things like this happen that you can't account for when you have goals that you set for yourself, like your face being on a major billboard in Times Square, the tallest tower in Times Square, launching podcasts and courses and public speaking and increase sales. One of our other goals that we had was to launch a course. 2 years ago, we did that. And in 10 days, we made $57,000 from the course. More importantly, we had people getting brand deals in $5, $10, and $25,000 deals that they were now getting as new revenue for their businesses. And that's part of our program with the Never Settle Academy. So we've had goals that we've gone after. And I know many of you are trying to create things. Maybe you're trying to create a short film. Maybe you want to launch a new podcast. Maybe your goal is to launch a book. Maybe you want to create new events. Maybe you want to get new clients. Maybe you want to expand the clients you get to make more money. I get it. You got all these different goals. And I'm just trying to show you not all the goals that we've ever set out to go after we hit. I showed you that we've been bankrupt before. My wife and I are in business. We had no parachute. It was just us. My mother-in-law was paying for our groceries. So I understand it and have been in many of your similar situations. Everybody's down is different than everybody else's. That was our lowest low. But your lowest low may be different. As it relates to positioning yourself for your goals, the pathway has to be clear. The pathway is just like putting that address into the GPS and you know you're going to get to point B from point A. The thing about a GPS, though, is when we do the GPS, I noticed that when we get hit with an obstacle or when we get hit with a change or something that's happening that's blocking the path that we were going, what happens? We get rerouted, right? It reroutes us. But when we're pursuing our goals, oftentimes we don't want to be rerouted and we don't want to see the reroute. And we've been conditioned and programmed that we're supposed to just plow through. And so therefore, many of you are getting burnt out sooner. You're pursuing goals and you're not getting different outcomes than you have in the past couple of years. And you're looking for something that's going to change. And so I'm hoping that this is your first takeaway, that the pathway with attachment, meaning if you're attached to the goal, if you're attached to the path, then you're going to be grasping at that goal, at that path, at that route. So that when you get hit with a challenge or an obstacle or someone tells you no, you're going to feel so much anxiety because you're going to feel like you need to try to plow through it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm saying once you try that and it doesn't work, you got hit with another obstacle. And you're just going to keep trying to plow through. You're going to try to kick. You're going to try to go. You have to be open to being rerouted. And they tell us and they teach us, put your blinders on. Don't look at anything else. I get that many people need to focus, but you need to do that incrementally. In other words, we need to be able to open the blinders up so that we can actually see and be inspired and understand and have self-awareness to where we're actually being directed. Let me ask you a question. If one of your goals is that you want to accomplish launching a podcast, let's just say that's a goal. It doesn't matter what your goal is. Let's just say it's launching a podcast. You want to do that in 2023. Okay, great. You're on your way to try to set your pathway to set up this podcast. And you get hit with a red light. An obstacle comes your way. And it appears as an obstacle, but let's just say someone's asking you to spend more time on putting together an event. But you wanted to put time into a podcast. But what was your goal? Your goal was to get a podcast. But as you'll see today, your goal has got to be deeper than the thing. So is your goal the podcast or is your goal to impact people's lives through communication? Hear the difference? You might think your goal is a podcast, but truly deeper than that surface level, your goal is to be able to impact people's lives, whatever that may be. I'm making this up as I go along, but impact people's lives with your communication. That means it could be an IG Live. It could be a reel. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a podcast. It could be an event. So here you are trying to launch this podcast and you're getting blocked on the way doing it. But you if you're aware and you notice what's happening, you're being rerouted to spending some energy and time on this quote unquote event. Well, at the end of the day, if the event allows you to impact audiences through your communication, doesn't that get to your goal? Might that actually help your podcast launch better later? But no, we've been taught, just focus on this podcast, just get this podcast done. And then we're like pushing and fighting and frustrating and we're grasping and the desperation kicks in. And when we're doing that, we're suffering. So I just want to make sure that you're understanding that when I'm talking about your pathway, that I'm really talking about your alignment, your divine direction. As an entrepreneur, someone pursuing our goals, we need to be in the right direction. That's it. We get too attached to the outcome and not to the direction towards it. And what I'm saying is if you want to reduce stress, if you want to still be able to plan for goals, but be able to do it lighter, doesn't mean you're not going to be aggressive, doesn't mean you're not going to be ambitious, doesn't mean you won't achieve it. In fact, I think you might even achieve it faster because you're going to be more open to getting to the end result. It just may not be the way you expect to get there. And that's the difference maker. So a direction and a pathway really creates meaning for our actions because now that we know which direction we're headed in, we can now understand the steps that we should be trying to take. And when we know the steps that we're trying to take, it gives us more clarity and purpose. So speaking of clarity, one of the things that I want to cover is the different pitfalls that you need to avoid. One is having a small vision. What does that mean? That means it's too easy. No easy goals. If the goal is easy enough for you to just knock it out of the park and do it, that's not a goal. Put it on your to-do list. Get it done next week. Another reason that goals go wrong is that you don't know who you're fighting for. If you never asked yourself this question, I need you to write this question down so that you can spend some time with this. Who am I fighting for? Who am I fighting for? This is critical that you understand because it's going to help give you more clarity and it's going to give you the resilience to get up on the days when you don't feel like doing it. Another pitfall could be that you don't take your vision serious enough. This goes back to Eddie Murphy when he was talking about that belief factor. Belief comes from confidence. Confidence comes from clarity. My job today is to get you clear on how to set your goals right so that you feel confident about the goals you're going after and therefore taking the right small steps, which is going to give you the confidence, which is going to make you think it's believable and you'll take it more seriously. And then another pitfall to avoid is not connecting your goals to daily tasks. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. When our goals aren't clear, it's not going to work. When we don't have commitment, it's not going to work. If it's too vague, won't work. If you don't have any accountability in place or measurements, won't work. These are the hard basics. You know, when I think about like Kobe Bryant and the elite athlete that he was and going into the gym for an extra practice before everybody else would come to the gym. He went to the gym by himself at 4 a.m. He would go to the gym at 4 a.m. before anybody else because he knew that everybody else is going to get 2 practices in the days. One starts at 8:30. The next one starts at around 1. They're going to get 2 practices. He wants to get 3 in the day. He starts at 4 a.m. What's he doing at 4 a.m.? His trainer tells you and footage shows you that he's working on the basics. His footwork, drills, ball handling. He's not slam dunking. He's not shooting 3-point shots. He's working on the basics over and over and over again. This is what high performers, high achievers do. If I'm trying to get more sales, then I'm doing more role playing over and over and over again. I'm role playing how to deal with an objection of no. I'm role playing when someone says that's not the right thing for me at this time. I'm role playing when someone says, I thought you had this feature and not that feature. I'm role playing when someone says, maybe later this year is going to be the right time for me. Or I don't have the budget right now. Like when I'm dealing with these big companies and these big brands, there's no reason for me to be able to get to $4 million worth of sales if I'm not learning and practicing the basics. But what happens is, even myself, we get comfortable with the basics. The basics are boring. Nobody wants to do them. I don't want to do them. Can I get an air horn for that? I get it. We don't want to do them. But the basics is what's going to really get us to leaps and bounds. So one of the basics that I'm going to break down for you today is that we have to get to extreme clarity. And this is a basic, but very overlooked. So the process to getting clear, I have a worksheet for you that you're going to be able to fill out. And the process is Before you write your goals, many of you may have already written some of your goals. So I'm sorry if this is going to be you rewriting your goals, but if it makes it better, that's what this is about. But I want you to start with a personal mission statement. The reason why I want you to start with a personal mission statement is because this is where you get extreme clarity. It starts right here, not anywhere else, right here at your mission statement. The reason why this is important for you to be able to have a personal mission statement is because it's going to give you guidance. Now, what happens in this process is people will send me their personal mission statement without following the instructions. I'm going to show you an example of this. But what this will do is give you complete clarity. And this is like the umbrella that goes over everything that comes after this. Any goal you want to do, any task, any step, any milestone you want to accomplish, all of that's going to come under. This is like building the infrastructure of your house. Having your personal mission statement is not your business mission statement. I'm talking about your personal mission statement. You. Now, you will be incorporated into your business, sure. But I don't want to hear you telling me that you help people with their strategic content plans. That's not your personal mission statement. So let me give you an example of how this looks and how this works. If you look at this formula here, which you'll be able to download from this site, the worksheet is downloadable. Don't do it right now, but it's downloadable. There are two formulas that I've created for you to help you make your personal mission statement and do this very simple. Okay, so the first one is to use these skills to have X outcome for this group of people. So I might say something like, to use my communication skills to increase financial literacy for entrepreneurs. Do you see how clear that is? To use my communication skills to increase literacy, the outcome, for entrepreneurs. Super simple, super clean. Now, every event, every goal, every task, every partnership, I know if it makes sense or not. The second formula is a different way, a different approach. You don't need to do both of these. You need to pick one that works for you. The second one says, what do you want to do? How will you do it? And what impact do you hope to make? So you might want to say, I want to create a this is a personal mission statement, not a goal. See how easy it is to fall into that trap. So what do you want to do? I want to increase financial literacy. How will I do it? I'll do it through podcasts, events, social media, and books. For what impact? So that they can build their own wealth, or that they can make double the income, or that they can create 6 new revenue streams. Like, you hear the specificity? So let's show you an example of what ones look like before and after. So this was Steven. Steven, thank you for letting us use this. Steven's in my VIP program. He is getting himself packaged correctly and on fire. But we were just messing around one day, and I was like, man, let me use your screenshot to teach the people. And he said, sure, go ahead. So his first statement before learning from us was, this is what people would normally write on their own. Here's my personal mission statement, Mario. Create compelling storytelling through music, film, and television. Sounds pretty good, right? Like, y'all are like, okay, create compelling stories. And he's going to do it through music, film, and television. But if you go back to the formula, who is he doing it for? And what's really the outcome of the storytelling? We don't know. So now, after he's gone through this process, let's read what his personal mission statement is. Create compelling storytelling through music, film, and television for virtual reality, augmented reality, and gamer enthusiasts to enjoy. So he wants stories, content, things that he's going to be doing. The outcome is that he wants people to enjoy it, so he wants them to be entertained. No different than a comedian says, I want people to laugh at my jokes. That's the outcome they want. And he's focused on his audience. virtual reality, augmented reality, and gamer enthusiast. So he knows he's in that gaming VR kind of techie niche. Do you understand the clarity that he knows now? He knows what brands to go after if he wants to get deals. He knows what partners he should go after if he wants to collaborate with someone. He knows when someone approaches him with an idea, if it doesn't fit into this personal mission statement, he shouldn't be doing it. It's a distraction. This is getting to the basics. It's hard work. I'll show you why it's hard work, because I just got someone that was in the program and they used the formula. I told them to use the formula and they came back with this. Redefine women's empowerment through inspiring them to become their own economic engines. Do you really talk like that when you talk to somebody on the street? Do you really say, I want to help people become their own economic engine? We got to stay away from corporate speak, brand terms, buzzwords, things that make us maybe sound like we're intelligent. No, we need simple 5th grade understanding. 5th grade. Create compelling storytelling through music, film, and television for VR, AR, and gamer enthusiasts to enjoy. Anybody can understand that. What does redefine women's empowerment? You know what that means to redefine it. You haven't told me what that means to redefine it. So therefore, I don't understand your statement. See how there's so much vagueness in this? Redefining women's empowerment through inspiring them. Inspiring them how? These are all basic, boring words. So this person has to do much more work. They're at the surface level. You want the 10% that's going to get you to Kobe Bryant, that's going to get these goals accomplished? You got to get this personal mission statement, this basic right here. This is doing the practice right here. Everybody's running around trying to set goals right now, and they don't even have a North Star for their personal mission. And the personal mission that they do have is so vague that they don't know when they're off track. So the worksheet is available to you right on the website. You're going to be able to download it, and you'll be able to go through that exercise and create your own personal mission statement. When you do it, take a picture of it, send it to me in a DM on Instagram, or type it to me. When you write it up, send a DM to me. Say, Mario, did I get this right? At Mario Armstrong on IG. At Mario Armstrong on IG. Okay, does that all make sense so far? And by the way, you'll be able to download other worksheets that you're going to hear me talking about throughout the rest of this workshop. But I don't want you getting hung up in that now, because then it's going to really make this presentation super long, and I need to get to how you write these goals and get them set up. So just know that all the worksheets are going to be there for you right on the same site that you're watching this video on. All right, so now let's talk about the different types of goals. There are so many types of goals. I don't even know if y'all know how many types of goals that are out there. So let's run through them pretty quick and then get to the ones that actually matter. So we all know that they're short-term, long-term, clear, vague. You may not know about approach goals or avoidance goals, though. Avoidance goals, by the way, are the worst goals to ever set, because they use a negative emphasis to try to get something accomplished. So, for example, if we're all talking about writing a book, let's say writing a book or becoming a published author is a goal. In this case, a short-term goal might look like, tomorrow I will write chapter X. A long-term goal will look like, at the end of this year, I have written 2 books. So most of us write a goal like, kind of sounds like that. I will have a book written by the end of this year. I'm going to get into that in a second. Clear goals sound like this. I will write 1 chapter. I will write the table of contents. It's very clear. A vague goal is, I'll do some writing. But an avoidance goal, I will try to avoid not finishing chapter 4. In other words, I'm trying to finish chapter 4, but the way I'm saying it is going to even make it harder for me. It's going to even feel heavier. But here's the worst. The right type of goal matters. So pay attention to this. The end state goals versus process goals. What you want, yes, I am clapping my daggone hands. What you want are process goals. Yes. Process goals. Here's why. You want change in your life? You want things to get better, to be different than they were before? It's got to be about the process. But what we mostly do, for the most part, is we set up end state goals, meaning the goal has an end to it. Once you hit that end, you've achieved that goal. And what I'm saying is, if you really want to have big change, if you really want to create new habits, then you have to create process goals. So let's look at the difference between them. A end state goal, which is what we typically do. People get these confused all the time, and this is going to be a second takeaway for you. The first takeaway was earlier when we talked about clarity and your personal mission statement. Now we're talking about writing the goal and making sure that we're doing process goals, not end state goals. So an end state goal sounds like this. I will finish writing this book. I will finish writing this book. But a process goal says, I will write 3 pages every day. Now, you tell me, if you were to repeat this affirmation every day, because that's got to be part of our goal process, is that we have to believe in what we're going to do and that we have to take small steps to get there. I get it. You got a lot of energy on your goals. You love what it is that you're trying to do. The vision was given to you. It's divine to you. It came into you. It's your vision. Look, don't let someone else's lack of understanding your vision determine your destiny. They don't get to do that. I got your back. I understand the pain of being on your own island by yourself, going through this thing, and no one understands what it is that you see for yourself. I wholeheartedly, fully understand that and feel it. And I just want you to know you're in the right space. We just got to do some small tweaking. Let me get you to that Olympic level of training. You've been working hard. You've been doing things right. You've been hitting milestones. You've got expertise and experience. In fact, your experience is your expertise. You've accomplished things. You may not have accomplished the thing you want to accomplish yet, but you've accomplished things. And so what I'm saying is, let me turn you up. I'm taking what's working well for you, and I'm going to grab that other 10%. You're going to be in the Olympics now. And part of that 10% is this part right here, this very basic thing. Which do you think will have more impact every single day, every single week, every single month that you say to yourself? You can't refute this. You can't argue this. Saying to yourself every day, I will finish writing this book, makes it seem like it's further and further apart every single day that you're not writing it. But if you say to yourself every single day, I just got to write 3 pages today. Today I got to write 3 pages. You may fall off the bicycle. You may fall off the bicycle every once in a while. I get it. Me and these sound effects. I get it. You may fall off that bike. But then you get back on because you got to write another 3 pages. The point is we need process goals. You don't need to lose 15 pounds. That's an end state goal. I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, so after the 15 pounds, how are you going to maintain it? You haven't taught yourself a process to maintain it. You told yourself that the goal was to lose 15 pounds. You've lost the 15 pounds. Now, do you really maintain it? Most people don't. This is why over 80% by mid-February are back to where they were based off their New Year's resolutions. They didn't stick. There's a reason that 172 million people do not achieve their goals every year. We're changing that. You're putting in hard work right now. This is the hard work. You're doing something that's different than others haven't done before. Shoot, you may be doing something different that you've never done before with this right now. I haven't talked to you about one method yet. I've talked to you about getting clear, fully understanding your personal mission statement, and then how that starts to define everything else. And then the next most important thing is how you write the goal. Not what tool you use to write it, not what you say is the goal, how you write it. So process goals is what we're going for, okay? And then there are 3 approaches to creating new habits to achieve those goals. And those 3 approaches are drastic, going cold turkey. So, someone was telling me the other day, like one of the hardest decisions I had to make was when I decided that I was going to stop doing what I was doing on the Today Show. You got to understand, this is a very big decision that we were making at this time. I was making the decision to basically say, I'm in front of 4 million people every time I go onto the Today Show. But I'm not, and I did that well, and I did that for several years. But what happens is when you're good at something, people will box you in. They'll just start to, it's just human nature to kind of label you and put you in a category. And I wanted to expand out of that category, and they were having trouble seeing me expand out of that category. So I needed to step away from them. But how was I really going to do that? Were you really going to walk away from 4 million people? Like when you walk through the airports, people were knowing you left and right. Now that, and it's not about the serving the ego of knowing. What I'm saying is just like the weight of the decision in a space where a personal brand needs to be seen. I'm saying that I'm open to the goal of redefining myself, which means I will need to step away from the very thing that helped me grow. That level of consciousness is hard to get to, and it's scary. And so one of the women in the VIP program, she said to me, she was just like, I did that in 2019. I had to completely leave my business, shut it down completely, and go work for somebody else. I ended up not enjoying what I was doing. But we are so conditioned to just push through. We are so conditioned that quitting is a negative word. No, it ain't. There's nothing wrong with quitting if you understand why you're quitting. There's something wrong with quitting if you're giving up because you haven't given enough chances, because you're not developing your resiliency. But there's nothing wrong with after you've taken some chances, after you tried some pivots, after you tried to be aware and flow and move with where the universe and your God is telling you to go, and it's not working for you. Nothing wrong with you saying, you know what, let me close this down for right now. This isn't working. Let me put my energy elsewhere. And what I'm saying is, if you really want to change your habits, you got to have clear goals that are process goals that continue over time, and then use one of these 3 behaviors in order to make that goal stick. So the first one is a drastic change, which is what I did. Well, I didn't do that. I actually did the incremental change. So a drastic change is cold turkey. I'm not going on the Today Show anymore. I didn't do it like that. I'm going to stop smoking tomorrow, right? Like my mother-in-law, when our son was born, that was it. She tried to stop smoking several times before. Didn't happen. Drastic change. She went cold turkey. Never picked up a cigarette ever since. Some people need incremental change. That you're going to start with a smaller steps, a smaller dose of the desired action. So now maybe I won't appear, 20 times a year on the Today Show. Maybe I'm only going to appear about 10. And then you have the chunked change. And the chunked change is when you are steadily engaging in smaller doses of the same desired action for even a longer period of time. A chunk change approach might be like you decide to block 2 hours on your calendar 3 days a week. And on those 3 days a week on your calendar for those 2 hours, you're only going to focus on sales. And that's going to give you more of your desired action over a longer period of time. So one of these 3 approaches needs to be the approach that's right for you, okay? I hope that's helpful. All right, now let's move into the methods. Y'all ready for the methods? Let's get it. Okay. All right, I see that y'all ready. My little fake applause audience. I appreciate y'all. All right. Okay, so let's move into the methods. Now, the methods are all different types of different ways to do it. And what happens with a lot of our goals is that once we set a goal, then we have to start setting up the tasks and the priorities to pursue those goals. And what happens more than often than not is that people make too many priorities. We haven't gotten down to really drilling down. When I look at people's to-do lists, they got so many things that they're trying to accomplish. And I'm like, This is already setting you up for failure. No wonder you feel frustrated by the end of the day or the end of the week. And no wonder we are wired to know all the things we haven't accomplished versus the things we have accomplished. So this little scene right here from The Office perfectly is how I see people when they tell me they got more than one priority. This is what they look like to me when they say, but everything's a priority or a lot of these things are important. This is what I internalize.
What will be your first priority? I will have 7 first priorities.
That part. Wait, one more time. One more time. I got to hear it again.
What will be your first priority? I will have 7 first priorities.
That look right there kills me because that's the look. You cannot possibly have 7 priorities. Everything cannot be an emergency. And the worst thing that we do is we wake up in the mornings, and many of us, and I don't do this, but when I do, I'm so upset with myself. When I slip and don't do what I know I'm supposed to do, I get so angry with myself. And that is that we grab our phones first thing. When you grab your phone first thing in the morning, you are now already set up for reaction mode. You're already putting yourself in a state of reaction. It's one of the worst things, in my opinion, to ever do to start your day. If you haven't grounded your day first, I go through prayer, a little bit of meditation, kiss the wife, kiss the dog, walk the dog, get a little bit of exercise in, brush the teeth, go to the bathroom, like these normal things, right? That's like an hour and a half before I'm like touching anything. And then before I grab the phone to actually touch anything, I dictate my first goal to be something that is actually going to give me return on investment. In other words, I'm optimized that I start really strong in the morning. I got great power in the morning. So in the morning, I use a lot of my energy. Well, I'm going to use that energy for some of the biggest tasks that I need to achieve. And some of those biggest tasks are really based around what's going to drive income for the business, what's going to drive revenue for the business. And a lot of people get it twisted. I'll talk about this in a little bit, that we try to do these small goals first because we think the small goals will give us the momentum to get the big goal. That's the wrong way. If that's what you're doing, trust me on this. This is the one big change for you. Do this and it's going to change everything. Do not do a bunch of small goals or a bunch of small tasks thinking that checking them off is going to give you the momentum for the big thing you need to do. Do the big thing when you have the best energy. Don't burn your energy on the small stuff to try to build up your energy. No, use your best energy on the biggest thing. And then when you're starting to have a little bit of drained energy, knock out that small stuff. Trust me on this. Okay, so being that there's so many different methods, we can get caught up in what's the right method for us. My point to you is that there is no right method for you. That there are different methods for everybody. Smart method, smart goals, smarter goals. Smart method is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. I already hate achievable because if you're going to make an achievable goal, why do it? Again, if it's something you can do that's easy, put it on the to-do list. Then there's the Eisenhower method, the MIT method, reverse goals. This is my favorite. But I also do use a little bit from the SMART goals formula because I like specificity. Being specific is important. Being measurable is important. But I like to do the reverse. I like to look at the goal of what I would like to try to achieve and then reverse my way towards it. Set the destination on the GPS and then come up with the directions towards it. That's what I prefer to do. But everybody's different. So let's go through a couple of these. So this is the Eisenhower method. This method is all about helping you understand what's urgent and important. That's the green section. That's the section you should be doing. Often, what we're getting are things that are urgent coming to us, at least we feel that way, but they're not important. Well, we need to get rid of them. We need to delegate them, put them to the side, give them to somebody else, or let that come up later. We don't, oh no, Mario, but I can knock it out in 5 minutes. You're zapping your energy. But it's just a quick email. Let me just knock this out real quick. You're zapping your energy. You really want to stay inside this urgent and important. What do I want to do? If it's important but not urgent, schedule it. Got it? So that's what the Eisenhower method kind of teaches you to do. The MIT method is the most important task method. I use this method for my to-do list. Instead of writing that big to-do list that most of you do, 7, 10, 12 items, y'all crazy. I put down 1 to 3. The max of my to-do list as it relates to my business. You may have some other errands and things you got to run, but I'm talking about my to-do list for my business. Only 3 things are getting done in that day. That's it. If I'm working on very important goals, I don't have the capacity to be working on 10 different things. You know, CEO Nicole said to me, she was like, you really only work on 3 things? I'm like, yep, 3 things. One of those was that I got to do this presentation to the family today. I got to try to share these potholes that we've been through and help pave these potholes for other people so that you can get to success faster. This is one goal of my day for the business. The other one was I needed to send 3 emails. Already sent those out. And then the last one that I'm going to do after this presentation is that I need to finish a proposal and get that out. Those are things that drive business. Those 3 emails were all about driving potential business. This right here is, truthfully, this is about giving back, but I am talking about our VIP program in this, and there might be some people that want to get packaged up and really want to use my program or get more access to me so that we can do these things for you so that we can help you accelerate. But really, I'm doing this just to give back because I really want to see y'all get more accomplishment and less frustration in your lives. And then 3, the proposal I need to finish is directly related to bringing more income and revenue to the company. But my 3 goals for the day come from this method. I don't do anything else until I've done those 3 essential things. This really causes me to focus. And what I've really learned from this process the most that really was compelling to me, y'all, was that once I realized that I drilled it down to 3 things only and got over the whole angst and fear and, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing that to myself. You know, you're going to go through this thing because you've been programmed so long that that's ridiculous. Only 3 things. I'm not getting anything done. What are you talking about? Let me tell you something. I travel through my day much lighter. It's not that they aren't aggressive goals. It's that I don't apply so much overwhelmingness to them in the get-go. And what that does do is it ends up giving me more time to accomplish more things. Not all the time, but sometimes it does. And here's the biggest takeaway of all that I found. When I actually get clear on only putting down 3 things for the day that I want to achieve, you have to take this next small step to really appreciate why I do it this way. Because for every one of those things, there are small steps that I got to do in order to achieve that thing. I wrote down, I have to send 3 emails. But what I got to do to send those out? In one case, I had to do some research. I had to spend some time looking at some stuff before I could send that particular email. In another one, I had to pull some links together. I had to pull some visual assets together. So I'm writing these things down. Yeah, the task for the day is to send these 3 emails, but the subtasks under them are the instructions to the recipe. You want to bake brownies? Great, cool. What's the step-by-step process to do it? But when you just write down, I got to send these 3 emails, you might think in your mind, oh, that's only going to take me like 5 minutes. And now you're wondering where your day is going. You get an interruption. Something grabs your attention. Now you're off track. It wasn't going to take you 5 minutes in the first place. It was going to take you 15 or 20 because you actually had to think about it. And you had to actually do some small things in order to do it. I'm not talking about little quick easy emails that are like, you know, those types of emails. We all know what those feel like. I'm talking about the ones that actually move the meter. I'm talking about the ones that get you to your next milestone. I'm talking about those are things you're paying a little bit more attention to. When you're trying to get a $30,000 contract, or you're getting a $125,000 contract, or you're getting 10 more students into your program, you're paying a little bit more attention to that. So this is the MIT method. You can choose to do that. I love it. To help you with this method, here are a couple of quick prompts. What are 2 to 3 tasks that will have the biggest impact on the end result? So if you're like trying to really figure out, well, what are the top 3, Mario? I don't know how to break this list down. There you go. Which ones? Write them all down. Write everything that's on your mind down. I advise you to do that because it helps you get it all on paper so you can see it. And then what you want to do is you want to circle the top 3 that will give you the biggest impact to the end result you're looking for. And then you need to write down the small steps to get there for each one of those. That will get you on so much accomplishment. And if you can get that into a routine, whoo, you rolling. All right, one of the next methods, the Pomodoro technique. For those of you that say you procrastinate on time, the answer to procrastination is action. The problem with procrastination isn't that you don't have enough time in a day. We all have the same amount of time. It's a mental issue. It's mindset. And I get it's not easy to overcome. So I appreciate it being stuck on it. But there's 2 ways to approach it. One, understanding when you have your best energy is when you should be tackling your biggest problems and things that you're afraid of or don't want to do or keep putting off. And then 2, figuring out the absolute smallest step you can take towards that thing that you feel overwhelmed by. So if I feel overwhelmed by doing this presentation, I'm like, Mario, what's the smallest step I can take? Let me just write the outline. What do I think I need to share with people? What are the proven techniques that have been working? What are the things that haven't? What are some of the mistakes I can help people to avoid? What are some of the processes? What should I teach them the most? Oh, I should definitely teach them about process goals versus end state goals. Because if they get that takeaway, they're 99% ahead of everybody else that's never heard that. So the Pomodoro technique helps you break down your day and the tasks that you need to achieve in your day into incremental moments. So for example, the way the Pomodoro technique works is that you set your timer for 25 minutes. In that 25 minutes, you work on that one task, whatever that thing is, whatever those small things are that you're working on to complete that task, you're doing it in that 25 minutes. So for me, when I'm putting together this presentation, my first 25 minutes is let me do my outline. If I don't finish it in those first 25 minutes, well, let me say it this way. When the 25 minutes are up, I take a 5-minute break. And then if I haven't finished it, I go back for another 25 minutes timed. By the way, that break is also timed. CEO Nicole swears by this method, and she is killing it with how productive she is. I've seen her get, what someone does in an 8-hour workday, I've seen her doing 3 hours. Because of the focus and because of how the system works. It gives you the license to not be distracted, to not have anything bother you through those first 25 minutes because you're going to get a 5-minute break to deal with the distractions. And every now and then, CEO Nicole will say to me, hey, Mario, I need to meet with you for 10 minutes. I'm going to extend my 5-minute break, but let's time it. And she will set the timer on her phone. I love using it. I use the app Be Focused Pro, but you can also use the website, promofocus.io. I don't care what you use. I don't care. Maybe just use an alarm on your phone. I just want you to try this out. 25 minutes, no distractions. Then take a 5-minute break. Time the break. Then if you finish that task or that item towards it, go to the next item. 25 minutes. If you haven't finished it, pick up where you left off. Time yourself. Watch what happens. And here's why the Pomodoro technique and everything else that I'm telling you is really important. Because on the left here is how our day typically goes. We wake up in the morning and then we go, 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 go. That's what we've been conditioned and designed to do. Wake up in the morning and then get after it. And then I go to bed. Most of us crash. We don't sleep right. How you sleep the night before predicates how your day tomorrow is going to be. But what really happens in our body, the ultradian rhythm, this is science. Harvard Business Review did this. How we really move throughout the day is we're up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And we're doing that in 90-minute increments. So if you've ever noticed that after 2 hours, you're burnt out, that's because our brains are looking for a break. Yeah, we can push ourselves through. Sure, we do it all the time and we soldier ourselves through. But what's the outcome of that? We may not make the best decisions. We get tired. We might get cranky. Then we're looking for caffeine or sugar or other things to kind of keep us up. No, all you needed to do is pay attention to 90 minutes, take a little break, go for a walk, do some stretching, grab a snack, then come back, do another 90 minutes. So this is where we talk about high performance and needing to have that downtime to then be ready for your next peak. I didn't make this up, people. This is for real. Like, this is why one of the takeaways that you need to have from this is that you're no longer going to manage your time. You're going to manage your energy, not your time. When are you at your mental energy peak? And we peak more than once throughout the day. So pay attention to your peaks, because that's when you should be doing the hard work. That's when you should be doing the most meaningful work. That's when you should be working on the thing that can bring you the most impact, the most revenue, the biggest outcome. Look at our sleep cycle. We're up and down. We're up and down. We get into REM sleep. Then we wake up. We get that morning peak. Then we're going to have a little bit of a slump after those 90 minutes. Then we're going to have a peak. 90 minutes. Peak. 90 minutes. If you can start to really understand where your peaks and valleys are naturally and start to program your goal setting task around that, you will get to a higher rate of performance. Now, all of this stuff doesn't matter if you don't package yourself in order to win. So packaging yourself is really the idea of bringing together how you look on paper, video assets, imagery, text, your copy, your personal mission statement, the goals you're trying to achieve, the revenue goals that you want to have for yourself. How are you packaging yourself? Most people are not getting what they deserve or what they want from their goals because they aren't packaging themselves in a way that speaks to people that says, oh my gosh, this person's polished. Oh my gosh, I should be doing business with them. Oh man, they are definitely credible. So your packaging is critical to building exactly your ability to show people your level of experience, show people the level of potential that you have, and to get trust super fast. You want more collaborations in 2023? You want better customers, better paying customers? You want higher paying customers in 2023? You want to collaborate with the right people? Do you want brand deals for your content, for your events, for your book tour, for your social media, for your podcast? You want to make another $100,000 just based off of brand deals or something like that? Something that I know very well. It's in the packaging. You getting new partners, you getting that distribution deal, getting that warehouse to carry your goods, partnering up with that other person and jumping into their mastermind so that you now have an audience that you can bring your services to. You want all that to go down for you? You got to understand how to package yourself. That is not sending an email, people. It's not sending an email, and it's not just putting together a basic media kit. It is deeper than that. So let me give you an example of what that can actually look like. Let's pull that up so I can show you that. So an example of what that would look like is something like this. When you are developing your media presence and or your it is a media presence, because even if you're just trying to pitch somebody for collaboration, this is a media kit. but it's how you approach the media kit, what goes in the media kit, that makes the difference all day, every day. And so one of the things that's super important about this, this is a student of ours. It's in our VIP program. We made this kit for her. This is part of what we do in the agency. We deliver the services for you. We make these things for you. And so Anissa here is a money expert. She's also an entrepreneur and a public speaker. Let me go back. This is the first page of this 2-page kit. So when you get this as a digital asset, it's 2 pages, or if you print it out or you get it handed to you, it's 2 pages. What makes her different is that she does makeup and money tutorials. She teaches women about money, but she uses the principles of makeup to teach you about money. For example, when talking about makeup concealer, she will teach you how to conceal blemishes that negatively impact your credit. Her company is called Pretty on Paper. They do books, podcasts, events, social posts, and public speaking and more to accelerate money moves that get women pretty on paper. We know a little bit about what her audience is into because we helped her with her survey to really get clear so that she knows exactly who she's speaking to. More importantly, in this case, if she's going to collaborate with someone, she can now tell them, look, here's who my audience is and here's what they need. If she wants a brand deal with someone, she can say, you know, you could do a book sponsorship with me or public speaking or a social post with me or sponsor my podcast. If she knows that her people are into self-improvement, makeup and fashion, money and financial independence, she knows exactly the topics that she needs to be talking about, writing about, and speaking on stages and in her podcast and anything else. This took a lot of work. It's me and not 3 others, it's 3 of us in total, but it's me and 2 other people that have to sit with all of your stuff and put this together. Now, this equates to her goals because in 2022, she's like, I need to have a media kit that really represents me as one of my goals. I'm ready to get bigger business. I'm ready to get better collaborations. I'm ready to get bigger opportunities. And I'm like, Anissa, what are you sending to people? She's like, well, I send them these emails. And I'm like, that's not going to do it. A text email ain't it. So what we do is we take them to the next level. And this is what I want you to see. I want you to see what goals should represent for you for 2023, because I believe every entrepreneur, every single last one of you that have a dream and have a vision need to be able to communicate it this way because it will get the response that you're looking for. None of my students that go through this and get this done, they don't get ghosted with their emails. I mean, every now and then a client doesn't respond. But I can guarantee you the person that's sending a text-based email versus what these students are sending, they're getting responses from people because you have to. So let's play. Let me show you her. This is her video reel that we made for her. And I want you, really what I want you to watch this for is how you can be using images, videos, and different things to extend and increase your trust. This little 50 seconds that I'm about to play quickly increases trust to any person she sends this to, especially those that don't know her. All right, let's play it. Anissa Getina is a money expert, public speaker, author, and she creates a ton of content. Her unique approach of combining makeup and money tutorials together increases her views, engagement, and impact.
Hey guys, it's Anissa Getina, and today I'm going to teach you some principles about credit.
She uses the world of makeup to teach you about money concepts.
I want to tell you a little bit about how to get pretty in person, while I tell you a little bit about how to get pretty on paper. So the 4th step is concealer. And concealer in makeup is the thing that covers up like your age spots, your dark spots, your blemishes. Like if you have a good foundation, but you don't conceal your face, girl, you know it's not going to work out too well. So in credit, you also can conceal. This is when we go into the disputing process. When you dispute negative items, taking negative items off of your credit actually helps you get more qualified for new credit.
Her company, Pretty on Paper, produces books, podcasts, videos, events, social posts, and public speaking to educate and accelerate more women getting pretty on paper. Anissa Getina bridges the world between makeup and money, Book her for your next event, campaign, or other opportunity. Anissa Getzina is a money expert, public speaker. Yes. I love it. Do y'all get that? Do y'all get the clarity that she has now? Do you all understand that what that packaging does for her is it really positions her to get better access to better deals, better opportunities, higher paying customers, better paying clients. You want people that you want to work with to be able to get quick trust. And so packaging yourself in 2023 is something that you all have to do. Then what we do is we teach her how to put that into what we call an 11-minute approach. And in the 11-minute approach, it's all about getting the person or the partner or the client or the customer, whoever you're trying to get in front of, to get on the phone with them or get on a Zoom call with them for 11 minutes or in person with them for 11 minutes. And there's a whole science to this 11 minutes in the 11-minute meeting. I don't need to go into it. Some of you have heard me talk about this on my lives before. Some of you have seen my TED talk about this. But it's all about being able to have the power of asking. And I just want to make sure that you're getting positioned in the right way for these opportunities. And you got to have this clarity of your vision, which is your personal mission statement. We got to be able to understand exactly when in the day we have our high performance so that we can work on those peaks. We got to make sure that we're making process goals, not end state goals, so that we're creating new habits over time. We also learned today about the 3 different ways to create that new habit, whether you're going to just do it cold turkey or you're going to do it gradually over time, or you're going to chunk it. We expose you to different methods, everything from the MIT method, which is the one I like, which is most important tasks, and the Pomodoro technique. I still got one other method to show you. And now we're covering like all of that's great, but then what? Packaging. That's the other 10% that gets you into that Olympic arena. Because you can send this to anybody in a DM. You can send it to them in LinkedIn. You can put this up on your social media pages and profiles. You can tag this into an email, newsletter. You can put it into every bottom of your email that you send to people. You can even embed it in the middle of the email if you wanted to. And I'll show you how we accomplish some goals doing that as well. Okay, but now you get it. You understand it. So that's the packaging. So when we talk about that, that's our VIP program. And I said on this thing, I'm not going to do a lot of selling. I really wanted to spend 98% of the time on getting you clear on how to make goals. And I still got more stuff to tell you about goals. So don't jump off. I don't you think I'm going into some sales pitch. I know you're used to people like, oh my God, now here comes the sale. Don't leave. I got more stuff to teach you about getting your goals. I'm just showing this to you. Give me 30 seconds and I'm off of it. Okay. All right. Because I know y'all are conditioned to be like, oh, here we go. This ain't that. I do want you to know that there is the all access experience where we do these things for you. We get your kits done. We get your video letters, pitches done. We get you to co-pitch with brands. You get 8 advanced lessons with me. We meet. You get one-on-one calls with me. You get access to me through Voxer. It's a whole white glove treatment where we do the things for you. We build it. So if that's of interest to you, the link is on this page. You can check that out on your own time. The next group is going to start January 16th. Perfect for getting your 2023 proper and right, because by March, you're going to have all your assets done and you're going to be rolling. And not only are you going to have those assets done, we're going to be opening some doors and teaching you how to get these doors open faster. So that's the VIP All Access experience. Thank you for letting me share that with you. If you are serious about it, we also have a lot of different payment options. So don't get alarmed by the ticket because it is pricey, because it's getting you that Olympic training and conditioning. We do role playing in this thing that's beyond leaps and bounds. The role playing that we do gets you so ready for any particular obstacle or challenge. That in and of itself, regardless of the fact that you get the video and the media kit and all this other stuff, is so powerful. So check it out. It's on this page. By the way, what's also on this page is if you just want to take the course, like if you really want to try to figure out how to get brand deals for your events, for your content, social media, podcasts, maybe you're doing a book or going on a book tour or want to, you can get brands to fund your concept. It doesn't have to be a thing out. In fact, a lot of times I encourage people to go after brands for the concept more than having it out, because then you don't have to prove numbers. All you got to do is prove the potential. And all they got to do is believe that you're going to be the best person for this opportunity. And if you're believable, they'll spend the money with you. And more brands are spending more and more money with people, not with TV and legacy media. So it's a ripe opportunity. And right now the course is on sale for 34% off discount till the end of this year, 34% off. So if you're watching this in January, you may have already missed that moment. If you're watching this in December, you can take advantage of that. But if you really want that packaging, you want to go for that premium VIP program. All right. Thank you for letting me talk about that. Let's move forward. One of the things that is really important, that when you start to package yourself correctly as it relates to your goals, is then you start to be able to put yourself in different arenas. This is an example of me packaging a video of myself using the same tools I teach, going after a particular goal. The goal is that I want to get into Entrepreneur Magazine. I want to start writing articles for them. And I want to do a video show, a video series where I highlight products, fashion, and other services that entrepreneurs should be using. And I ended up sending Dan at Entrepreneur Magazine this video pitch, which when you open this, you automatically see some movement. And it says, check the video letter I made for you below and let me know what you think about this idea for us to collaborate on. I didn't put what the idea was in the email. That gives them a chance to shoot it down. I put it in the video. The video gets the click. So then they click on it. When they click on it, this happens. They see Dan, like, what's up, man? It's Mario. Good to speak to you, man. It's been a minute since we last chatted. I've been on TV talking about it.
Our friend Mario Armstrong is here. He's our digital lifestyle expert and host of the motivational podcast, Never Settle. That sounds good.
Never settle.
We will not settle for mediocre tech.
No, we will
gadgets.
not, Savannah. And people are starting to ask me more about like tech gifts and gift ideas in general for entrepreneurs. And they're asking me everything from like fashion advice, like what type of fashionable bag should they be getting? Is there anything in clothing that they should be doing? What's the new trends? All the way over to what's the best laptop for them? And should I get them a smartwatch, or which Kindle would be the best Kindle? So it got me to thinking. I was like, wait, hold on. I wonder if Dan would be down for us to tag team and for me to put together some of the best gift ideas that you should get for entrepreneurs. And boom. So that's it. I'm not going to keep going with that. But that's what happened. Then what happened next is I get on a Zoom call. They're like, yo, we like this idea. Let's meet. We get on this Zoom call. We have a meeting. We start talking the idea through. Next thing I know, they're off and running with it further than I thought it would go. They're putting together their own deck. They're coming up with their own ideas. They came up with a name for it. They said, we're going to call it Mario Likes It. And so Mario Likes It is now live. I'm in the magazine with my own column. And we now have video. It's on, like if you go to entrepreneurs, Instagram, YouTube, or any of their sites, you're going to see the Mario Likes It show. That was a goal that I had that I was pursuing. The small step was package myself to get their attention. The thing about all of this is, people, when you're doing this, you have no idea what the outcome is going to be. And this is one of my other big takeaways that I need you all to leave with. The unknown is your best friend. But we want to control everything. And since we want to control it, we get so controlling that we get so grasping that we actually start to squeeze the opportunity and it drains it. I want you to start to open and let go. So what does that mean? That means you get planned. You get a plan in place. You get a pathway. You get a goal that you want to go after. You write down that process goal. I'm going to write 3 pages every day towards this book. I'm going to do more role playing. I'm going to spend 15 minutes every day on role playing to get sharper with my role playing process. Whatever it is. You're going to write up these goals because you know how to write them now and do them right. You're going to have your personal mission statement, which has got you completely clear. And then you're going to be able to be in a position where you can now be able to focus completely. Oh, let me go back. Be able to focus on completely being able to achieve the goals that are important to you by taking these small steps that are going to get you there and then appreciating the unknown to the extent that you don't need to control it. I couldn't control this process. All I could do is offer up this idea. And what was beautiful about it was, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. It was just another idea of several that I'm going to continue to push out to people. But since I was unattached, since I wasn't desperate in that it had to happen, or it had to happen the way I saw it happening, I could let it form on its own. And so the energy and the universe and everything else around it came to play. And the next thing you know, it's even bigger than what I thought it was going to be. So what am I saying to you? What I'm saying to you is you have to set your goals now and then detach from it. What that means is set your goal. I know where I'm headed, but now let me be detached from it happening that exact way. Mario said, I just need to be in the right direction. Mario said, I just need to be in the right pathway. Let me stop focusing on having it that way. And that's the only way so much that's going to create so much stress, angst, suffering, and grasping. That's what I'm doing here. I'm grasping at it. Okay? Because I want you to pursue these goals with a better mind state. Doesn't matter to me if you learn the process of getting after goals if you're doing it with the wrong mindset. All right, here's my final story before we get out of here. I'm not perfect, y'all. So recently, some of you all know that I had this public speaking engagement in Norfolk, Virginia for this opportunity with Pharrell. Met Pharrell, beautiful soul, beautiful guy. It's exactly what you'd expect in person. I had prepared a pitch for Pharrell. I put it on video, had it on my phone. We were backstage in the green room. And I said to him, man, it's great to meet you. And then we chatted for a couple quick seconds. And I said, hey, look, I've spent time putting together this video letter. It's only 1 minute and 13 seconds. But I really want you to watch it because there's some things that I think that maybe could be interesting to the both of us. And I said, but I don't know if right now is the right time because, you know, we're around a bunch of people and there's some movement. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah, you're right. Not right now. He was like, but let me introduce you to this person. He introduced me to the person. He told the person, he said, look, Mario's going to email this to you. Make sure I get to see this. I promised him that I would watch this. That's the least I could do. He's up here killing it on stage. The least I could do is watch it for him, right? So that's a cold approach that I did. Here's the thing. I ended up doing that. Great. I'll send it to him. Blah, blah, blah. The next day, I see him in the hotel lobby. We're both staying in the same hotel. I didn't realize that. I'm sitting in a chair in a hotel. I hadn't been out that much because of COVID. And so I'm like getting out. I'm like starting to get my networking vibe together and I'm trying to like do my thing while I'm out here. I can't get sick. If I get sick, my company is sick. If my company is sick, we got 4 employees that don't get paid. So I'm probably way more diligent than most. Some of y'all can make moves and do things. Don't judge me. It's not about a judgment thing here. I had to be safe, and that's the choice that I had to make in order to move. So I didn't go out that much, and it really hurt me on the networking. And it came to full force focus in this moment with Pharrell in the lobby. He comes out of the elevator. Ding goes the elevator. Opens up. I'm sitting in a chair in the lobby. He's walking by. He sees me. We lock eyes. He gives me a little bow. I say what's up to him. And then I'm like ready to say something. And then I hold back. And then I say something. I'm like, hey, Pharrell, I was like, that Rick Rubin interview you did, man, that thing was awesome. That was good stuff. And he was like, thanks, man. And I go, man, what the hell was that? Like of all the things, he's by himself and you got a moment. Yes, he's headed to the car and you know that. So you don't want to get in the way. You don't want to be that person, but you want to say something more meaningful than that, Mario. You know how it works. You got to say something more meaningful to get his attention. You weren't ready. You weren't polished. You want to tell the man that he did great on some podcast you heard? I was so furious. And the reason why I was furious was because, number one, I know better. Number two, I hadn't been training. I hadn't been out. So since I hadn't been out, I hadn't been getting any of my reps in. The workouts weren't taking place. I did not do role playing enough during COVID to get me ready to be out in the field. I went right to that daggone elevator, hit my floor, went to my room, sat on the bed. I put my head down. I said, man, what the hell was that? You know damn well you've been looking around this thing and you've been seeing opportunities that you think you could help him with. You see how more brands could be involved in this. You see how what he's doing could be turned into a TV show or at least a series. You should have said something like that. Something that would grab his attention, that could bring him some value. Hey, Pharrell, I was wondering, I think there's like 5 other brands that I know could be here. Is Capital One a brand that you would be interested in, or have any, da-da-da-da-da-da? Is such and such and such and such? Would FedEx Office work? Like, none of that. So why am I sharing this story with you? Because I want y'all to know I'm human too. I dropped the ball just like everybody else. But the deal is, do we get back up? Do we have a process? Do we have a system? Best believe when he gets that video package is going to be tight. So maybe I dropped the ball. He didn't know I dropped the ball in the hotel lobby. He just knows that I said I saw him on a podcast. For all I know, he may have appreciated that. That's not what I wanted to tell him, but that's okay because he's got a powerful package that's been sent to him just recently, by the way. Like, it just got off to him before doing this. Like, not today, but recently got off to him. So I'm looking forward to hearing what the response is going to be, because there will be a response. So I wanted to share that story with you because I wanted you to know that I'm not perfect. Even though I'm going after goals just like all of you, I'm refining, but I'm giving you a process and a system and a formula that absolutely works and gets you outcomes. So I want to make sure that you understand that you can get access to all these worksheets that you heard me talking about. The one I want you to really pay attention to is the personal mission statement. We touched on that earlier. But then the next one I want you to pay attention to is the reflection action plan. This is about a 5 or 6 page plan that, if you follow to the T, will change your outcomes undoubtedly for 2023. If you are tired of being unfulfilled, if you are tired of the uncertainty, if you are trying to get better at defining success for you and not somebody else's comparison to you, if you really want to prioritize better, deal with yourself more positively, get clearer on the goals, and learn how to ask from others what you need in order to accomplish your thing, you need to download that reflection action plan. This is free of charge stuff, people. We put a lot of hours into developing this. I've got 3 years of experience of people using the reflection action plan. I got 3 years of people getting outcomes that are emailed to me about what's happened due to following the reflection action plan. It is a 90-day plan that gets you to reverse engineer your goals and get your goals accomplished. So good. But also there are other worksheets in there that can help you with your clarity, that can help you overcome fear, that can help you overcome being consistent, getting an accountability partner, all of those things that are important. Okay? All right, y'all. I hope this was extremely helpful to you. If you are really serious and you have the means and you would like to have a conversation with me, go onto the website. You can book a 15-minute call with me to see if any of the programs that we actually do to dive deeper with you beyond this free stuff that we're giving to you can be helpful for you. If you want to accelerate even faster your outcomes, jump into one of my programs. But let me know if it's something that you're debating, or let me know if you need help with the payments. I want to continue to make sure it's accessible. We can stretch it out for you. Don't be a stranger. Ask. All right. All right, y'all. Look, much love to you. Big, big accomplishment to your dreams in 2023. Treat people with kindness. Be as mindful of a human as you possibly can to others along the way. Get clear with your goals. Follow my process. And then hit me up on IG. Make sure you're following me. If you're not following me on Instagram, you're missing out on a bunch of free lives and masterminds and mini moments that I give you anyway. All right, I want to wish you the best for this holiday season if you're watching this before the holiday. And I wish you and yours to be safe, to be happy, to be kind to each other, and be kind to yourself. And I want you to get these goals. You deserve these goals. Let me help you. We didn't know what we were doing when we went after it. We didn't have the money. We were flat broke when we got our first Emmy. Everybody thought we made it. We were broke as hell. We were resilient. We had the right type of goal setting. We worked on exactly the processes and the tips and the tasks and the strategies that I've given you today. And we've had outcomes that have worked. you can get these outcomes too. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you spending time with me. If you watch the full thing in full, tell me that you did by writing in the keyword to my Instagram, green M&Ms. I want to know that you actually came and watched the whole thing. And the only way you would have known is if you watched me say the words green M&Ms. Yes, that is a thing that comes from Aerosmith, who put green M&Ms in their contract so that when they showed up in the green room, if they didn't see green M&Ms in the bowl, they knew that the person that they're working for or working with or partnering up did not read that contract in full. It's a little gem that's inside it, a little Easter egg, and I'm doing the same thing. So tell me you got the green M&Ms and you ready to make that green in 2023. All right. All right, y'all. Much love. Peace. Never settle. I'll catch y'all soon. Take care.